Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, organics of all ages, I'm Double R, and in this particular video, we're going to cover a few topics, kind of bim bam boom. So with that said, let's cover the first batch of small topics, which is...
I missed the original FF7 where I could attack my own teammates. That was a wonderful mechanic. Bring it back, Square, please. The fate of the universe depends on it.
In spite of this, we cannot allow the report that set this calamity in motion to become common knowledge. Were the masses to learn the fates of the other stars, I fear the situation would spiral out of our control.
Spiral out of control. You're worried shit may hit the fan a little too egregiously. Bitch, it's the end of the world. Panic is inevitable. By refusing to share knowledge of the calamities to come, you are ensuring people will respond in the worst, most chaotic ways imaginable. Besides, both Hades and Hyphodeus were brought into the fold, and despite the former skepticism, he nonetheless aided us. If anything, their responses ought to be a testament to Amaranth's resilience, despite what the story may suggest.
Long story short, I agree with that. Hands down, bar none. It would just be me repeating what this guy said. I put the little video thing up wherever it's supposed to be. I put it up there so you can watch his video to get the idea. I would just be repeating that, so what's the point? I'm just going to send you over to him. Makes a lot more sense. That topic's done. Next.
Why? Why can't I have that half?
Okay, here.
But why did you want to give me that to begin with?
It's the same thing! It's the same thing! It's
But
literally
why-
the same sandwich cut in half.
But why didn't you want to give me that one first?
I don't care which one you want. Here, you want this one? Take it.
No, I want that one now. Blaze!
What one you want now? It's the same fucking sandwich!
Never mind, I don't want anything.
Oh, brother, I feel for you.
Benji pointed out that for the furry community, they are massive. They're a lot more than you expected them to be. And the reason for this is simple. The furry fandom is supposed to be all-inclusive until you get people like that. You know, this kind of brings up a very odd point that I wanted to keep off to the side. During the election of 2024, the furry community went with this, and the other side went with that. So this tells you that they are trying to be all-inclusive, but when you get people like this in here, when you get folks like that in there, well, as I stated before, and I'll state it again, every group has their extremists. The extremists and the bad faith folks do not represent the entire group. LoliSho, Furry, same thing in this case. They all have their extremists, they all have their people that go outside the range. It is up to that community to keep the pressure on those kind of folks to help weed them out. Just putting that out there. We good? Great. Next.
All these glitches make me want to break a goddamn toilet! Fuck! Can't even do that! Fine, let me blow up this car. That's gonna make me feel better. What the hell was that?
Oh my god. Every time I think I'm out. I was out! I was out! I was out! Anyway, speaking of LoliSho shit, there has been a running thing where a certain cosplayer has been attacked and demonized yet again because this and that. Funny thing is, she's over 20 people. She's over 20. She's over 20. But fate dealt her the hand of, well, you're not going to be exactly a large woman. You're not going to be exactly Tina Armstrong in the breast department. But because of that, people on Twitter, well, X, formerly known as Twitter, have decided to keep with the pedophile theme, which makes it very weird. But because we bring this up, I have to bring up something else within the LoliSho side of the community. I'm going to stop y'all right there. No, I'm not equating a cosplayer to LoliSho shit. However, I'm going to stay with the terms because there is something to note. I brought this up on my roleplay character, on one of them. I stated, the issue I have with localizers and translators is they fuck up terms. Here's what I mean. If we take, say, Lloyd from Spy Family, and said Lloyd was chasing after Becky from the same series. If a localizer and translator got a hold of it, they would call him a lolicon. Incorrect. No, stop that shit right now. And here's why I say this. In that universe, where Lloyd is real, Becky is real. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to slow it down so y'all can keep up. In the universe of Spy Family, Lloyd is real. He is an actual thing. He is an entity in that universe. So is Becky. Which means, if a full-ass adult chases a kid in the same parallel frame, in the same universe, in the same reality, if they chase after a kid in that term, that would be a Pedro file with no R. But for some reason, because people have issues with lolicon and shotacon shit, the translators and localizers decide to just say, it's lolicon. Not how that operates. You have to have a plane of separation. This is why lolicons and shotacons often say it's fiction, because there's a plane of separation. Do those lolicons and shotacon people exist within the universe of Spy Family to go after Becky? No. The most they can do is print it out on a piece of paper. Now, for some of y'all who don't quite get it, what about AI images? AI images are based off of real things. And I don't just mean, oh, a little bit here, a little bit there. No, I mean Shadman level based off of real things. And I'm not going to be addressing that again. However, understanding that the failure of translation and localization has that pop up, that's why a lot of normies, a lot of tourists, and a lot of antis, you can tell who they are because they will use the same logic, they will call an actual person within their frame, within their universe, within their plane of existence, a lolly. That's why they say it. That's why they go, real life lolly. No, motherfucker. Stop. I get it, the translator's fucked up. I get it, the localizer's fucked up. Stop it. At least this doesn't annoy me as much as Android 17 and 18. No, they're cyborgs because they were human, per se. But you know, it's not like we have a character in the West literally called Cyborg that points this out. But hey, you know, logic. What the fuck is that? Ugh. Now, hopefully I never have to cover that topic again, but here we are. So do we understand? Lolicon and Shotacon shit are based off of different planes of existence. The Lolicon Shotacon on one part of the existence, the character in fiction. This is why in case of, say, Lloyd chasing Becky, it was same plane of existence, ergo he would be a Pedro file with no R, as opposed to a Lolicon. So again, I blame the tourists, I blame the localizers, I blame the translators, I blame the antis for not knowing what the fuck the term is. Great. Next.
What the first rule of being a Power Ranger is? No transgender people in the bathrooms?
No, that's the first rule to jerking off to Donald Trump. Any other jokes here?
Ixnay on the Power Rangers pay. We never reveal our secret color-coordinated identities.
Okay, that was pretty funny. Might as well get one funny line in there during the 6 minutes that isn't porn.
Final Fantasy XIV has a couple issues, and I wanted to make this the last topic of this video because this is the bigger bulk of the video. So let's just go ahead and cover this real quick, fast, in a hurry. Thing I want pointed and noted. Right from the start, right from the jump, I have beef with some characters. Medion, will you be my friend? And the writing says, you don't give an affirmation of friendship outright. Me? I went, great! This is the fucking villain! A bird bitch! Woo! Sure enough, you get the end-to-end walker and welcome to the birds! Or the birdemic, however you want to feel. Whatever. Point is, a lot of birds with negative emotion. Really fucking up the Elpis thing, but it's a parallel to the Pandora's Box situation, and if I can find a video on that, I'll put it up somewhere. Moving on! Because there's no point in explaining this, because the video. Now, I have a beef with her. I have a beef with Venat. Boy, do I have a beef with Venat. Anybody who's been with any of my characters in any of the FCs, you know I have a beef with Venat. The first thing out of my damn mouth since a Realm Reborn, I want to shank Heidelin. Something about Heidelin tells me I should shank her. I want to shank her. She should be stabbed a lot. Now I bring this up because that was my mentality since a Realm Reborn. So in Endwalker, when Venat, aka Heidelin, decides to say, I will test you. So I get to shank her. Knives out, let's go. But that's because the writing of Venat herself was a problem. Video up there for someone else who dug into it, and I don't want to make this an hour-long video. Next person I had beef with was Xenos. Or Xenos, or whatever. He managed to find where you were to fight the Endsinger. How the fuck? What? How? You can go so many different directions, and what? Did they just go follow the Aether Trail? And he's like, cool. A Pac-Man? What? How? Who? Hey, not only was that a problem, but there was a lot of other problems too, but let's not get into that, or the Watcher, or the Bumpritz. Let's not get into any of those, because this is a Zordon problem all over again. After 10,000 years, I'm free! Time to conquer Earth! Your plan, Zordon, was to put Rita Repulsa in a trash can on the moon and leave her by Earth, which was her directive to take over. You just gonna leave her right beside the target? You didn't want to take her in a trash can and, like, boot her like fucking in Superman with the Phantom Stone? Just boot? You didn't want to do that? You want to put her on the fucking moon? What? Hey, ha, he, Point is, no! Story has some issues when you think about it outside of emotion. When you stop thinking with your emotions and going, oh my god, and you start thinking logically, problems ensue. This leads to Waklamot. Now, I'm going to state bluntly, when it came to audio, since A Realm Reborn, I had Japanese audio with the English text. Because I'm trying to learn Japanese, you need to be more immersed in the situation and hearing it and yaya and blah blah blah. That's why I left it on the Japanese audio. It's been proven I've left it on the Japanese audio when you watch the duty replays, when you watch certain scenes. Hell, even one of my other videos recently, when I put up the disclaimer, it was Y'shtola doing her summoning part. The audio was in what?
Majoと名乗るヤシトラがそこまで言うとは。一体どんな使い魔なんだ。
海より昇りて雲となり、山より落ちて雨となり、川より下って命とならう。トゥルルル、あわわ
何か悪いもんでも食ったのかあいつは。
とっても可愛いじゃない。確実にゲートを通過させるためには最もエーテル量の少ない使い魔を呼ぶ必要があった。それはいいのよ。ただなんで術式の最後にあんな詠唱の言葉を織り交ぜたのか、子供の頃の自分に会うことがあったら問い詰めたいわね。
Japanese. I bring this up because when it came to Waklamat, I said I didn't like her writing. Because like the writing for Venat, the writers want you to feel a certain way about this character, but when you think about it, it goes the other direction. And people went, "You're transphobic." And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with the writing? Does Waklamat transition? Well, they got real quiet. So I had to look it up, and apparently the English voice actor for Waklamat is trans. What does that have to do with the writing of the character? Unless you're telling me that VA wrote the character from start to finish. Unless that was the case. Then I don't want to hear your little, "Hey, you're transphobic." No. I said the writing sucks. That has nothing to do with the VA's work. I don't even know about the VA's work because, again, I listen to the Japanese audio. If she does good, if he does bad, I don't know what they identify as, don't care. If they do good or bad, I don't know because I don't hear it. I don't listen to it. I don't deal with the English VA stuff. I deal with the Japanese audio. Sorry, doesn't hold for me. But the story itself, still kind of bad. Now, I bring all that up because this is an issue that the 14 community has to deal with. Streamers bring up they don't like Waklamat, they get called transphobic. Other people say they don't like Waklamat because they get called, well, it's not because they get called transphobic, but they get called transphobic because they don't like Waklamat. People like me who listen to the Japanese audio, we get called transphobic because we don't like Waklamat's writing. The writing sucks for Waklamat. Period. Now, this is not to say this is the only character that got hit with it, as I have stated earlier. But we also have to remember A Realm Reborn. During the whole copy pasta thing, you know, have you heard of Final Fantasy XIV?
Have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV? With an expanded free trial which you can play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 for free with no restrictions on playtime? Thanks to meme culture, you probably have.
Thank you. It's a copy pasta. But you notice, initially in the copy pasta it says Heavensward, and then it got moved up to Stormblood. Did you notice it doesn't say introducing the critically acclaimed, award-winning Realm Reborn? They don't bring that up. No. They go straight to Heavensward. That's the critically acclaimed part. That's the award-winning section. Heavensward. Stormblood won awards. So award-winning Stormblood. A Realm Reborn, not so much. Because the 14 writers are not good at pacing an opening. And a lot of the community seems to forget this. Again, even when streamers were getting into Final Fantasy XIV, hell, they even told stuff like Asmongold this. Just get through A Realm Reborn and it gets good. Just get through Classic WoW and the game gets good. That's what you pretty much told him. WoW only gets good after Classic WoW? Really? But that's what people were telling other streamers and other folks. Just get through it and get to the Heaven's Ward and it's all good. Why is that? Well, a lot of people found A Realm Reborn long and boring because it's setting up a lot of stuff and 14 writers aren't good at making beginnings. So Dawn Trail, as another beginning, is going to fall into that trap. It's going to be long, drawn out, boring, and unfortunately, Wakamat got hit with a Menphilia stick. My point being, it's not the character's fault per se. It's the writing in general. The writers really want you to get behind Wakamat. They really want you to get behind her. The problem with that is, like Venat, if you push so hard one way and someone starts thinking about it critically, that pendulum slips and goes right back the other direction. It goes from a character that you want loved and beloved and everyone is happy to see to, oh, it's you. Great.
But wait, there's more!
Now, having put all that out there, almost 10 minutes worth of that, we speak upon another topic. This issue is more of a technical thing. A lot of the player base, not player base, a lot of the I just corrected this. A lot of the player base has started to dwindle in 14 during Dawn Trail. Now I have a couple theories on this, but the main one is you're focusing more on raiders. You're focusing on one subset. You're focusing on a subset. That's the problem. The story folk and the casual folk see you focusing on the raider folk, and it's like, what's the point of playing? Now my problem is a lot of the 14 community don't tend to notice or remember that Yoshi P said, hey, take a fucking break sometimes. It helps. I bring this up because I have a theory. I don't think Dawn Trail was supposed to be Dawn Trail. I think Dawn Trail was supposed to be the story about the 13th. Hear me out. What happened at the end of Endwalker was there was a long drought. The raiding community, of course, freaked out first, for some reason. We have no new raids! I only make content for raids of Final Fantasy XIV, so I need raids, so give me my fucking raids! The story folk pretty much doing the exact same shit. Oh my god, there's no new story! I'm bored out of my fucking mind, I want to play another game! Yoshi P kind of told y'all when there's lulls and there's time to chill, which is why there's lulls in the first place, so they have time to create more shit, you should be taking some time off. But you know, when your only content is 14, you're kind of fucked. Look at Asmongold and WoW. Asmongold left WoW after a bit, even though his whole thing was WoW. Video game Donkey, his whole thing was League of Legends. Guess what happened with Donkey? He said he got tired of that shit, went to play other games, his numbers went down for a bit, but then they started coming back up. Same thing with Asmongold. His numbers went down for a little bit because he left WoW for a little bit, and they started going back up. Because they understood playing different games keeps you from beating your head against the goddamn wall. But I digress. While everyone was freaking out during that time, the story group was trying to write something to transition into something else. So they were going to make this whole expansion, I felt, initially, over 13. The 13th thing. You all know, because that came a bunch of fucking patches. The 13th shard with 0 and all that. And the reason why that was pretty much well written was because that was the plan. The second half of Dawn Trail was still going to be the second half of Dawn Trail, And it would have made more sense if you had to deal with the 13th Shard. Because there's members of the 13th on the Source, there's members of the 13th on the First. There was a lot to work with there. And they were working on it. They were trying. This is what the back half of Dawn Trail was supposed to be. It was supposed to help you see that some people were in other areas and there was reasons for this. But my theory is, while they're working on that and people kept crying, I only make 14 content, you gotta give me raids, you gotta give me stories, you gotta give me this, you gotta give me that. Square Enix went, oh my god, they might actually listen to Yoshi P and leave for a fucking month or two so we can get shit done. They might actually do it. Oh no! Quick! Give them something! And the writers were like, but we're working on an expansion. Don't care. Give it to them. And the writers were like, God damn it. Okay. Break it off. Break it off. Just cut it. We'll start something else to put the first half. Just cut it. Just cut. We can at least spare the last half. We can at least spare that. We're going to condense this first part. We're going to condense it. Shift it. Turn it. Twist it. Ning it. Bump it. Twist it. Spin it. We're going to do what we can to limit this. And hopefully this buys time for something else. That's why Dawn Trail itself seems like A Realm Reborn all over again. Because like, fuck it, we don't have time to sit here and do something intricate like we were doing with the 13th Shard and Zero and all that. Y'all didn't give us time to do it. Y'all didn't understand to take a fucking break. But because a lot of the writers are more Japanese, they have this thing of not telling y'all to shut the fuck up. So, they decided to, under some convincing from the higher-ups, to cut that segment into little pieces and speed it along through patchwork. So that's why the Dawn Trail story is pretty much garbanzo. Because they just went, screw it, A Realm Reborn. Just do it again. We'll just take a Beast Tribe idea and we'll just go run with that. But they'll notice it. No, they won't. No, they won't. We got covers. Right, boss? Yes, the English people will be... The Americans, they're stupid. They go all about DEI. Put someone in for that, and that should buy us time. We hope. Bada boom, bada bing, here we are. All because the streamers just couldn't wait or play anything else. Then again, Burger King is expected to have burgers, not chicken pot pie. So, I kind of get it. Although, the 14 community as a whole, at least story-wise, and at least good content-wise, we got hit in the face with a shovel because of it. But that's just a theory. A 14 theory! Oh, that had to be done. It had to be done! I'm sorry, it had to be done. But that said, I'm Double R. I'm out. Y'all have a good time. And view those other videos if you don't quite get the point. Later.
Not only is he a real doctor, he's a dashing special agent with a PhD in kicking your ass.
Please go away. I have to do chores.
He's a true American legend.
What? I've never been to America.
From America.
Father is coming home. Please let me finish breakfast.